have pretty much everything vibrating and crackling and trepidating together to create that sound. One of the first things that will happen whenever your distortion is not well adjusted. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back in the studio with a good cup of coffee for one more vocal analysis. You guys asked me, so let's do it. Let's talk about MAPHRA again with Circle With Me by Spiritbox. Now, MAPHRA is training a lot in the vocalist community, especially the metal singing scene. And of course she is, because she is amazing. So I'm really excited to listen to this one. I don't think I ever heard this song before, Circle With Me. I haven't heard a lot of Spiritbox before, but I'm really excited to listen to this one. I'm really excited to watch her performance and discuss a bit of what's happening from a vocal technique, from a vocal physiology perspective. Alright, so if you're new to the channel, my name is Kailesh. I'm a singer-songwriter and voice teacher. As a singer-songwriter, I'm about to release my next single, which is called Canvas of My Soul. Stay tuned for that, but I'll leave a link up here for my latest single that's called Leave It All Behind. If you are into rock, if you like heavy guitars, high vocals, you might like the song. If you like MAPHRA, you might like the song. So check it out, and of course, let me know your thoughts on it. Your feedback means a lot to me. Now, as a voice teacher, my work is focused and based on laryngeal physiology and biomechanics, basically what the muscles that we have inside our larynx they do in order to achieve the sounds that we have in contemporary singing, like, of course, vocal distortions. If you want to become my singing student, check out the link in the description to get all of the info on my online singing course, Building Your Voice. In there, we cover a range of different topics inside vocal technique. We talk about how to belt, how to reach high notes, and of course, how to make those high notes powerful, and also how to sing low notes with power and firmness as well, but also how to sing with a soft tone. Whenever you want to be really expressive, if you're singing, you can apply those what we call passive vocal schemes. We talk about ornaments, yodels, vibratos, runs, vocal distortions, how to scream, how to grunt, how to apply grit distortion to your voice without hurting your voice. All of that and much more, again, inside my singing program, Building Your Voice. Link down below with all of the info that you need. All right, now without further ado, let's listen to MAPHRA singing Circle With Me by Spiritbox.
Cut down the altar!
Woo! We start right there. What a change. Alright, we'll talk about distortion later because I'm pretty sure that she will be using that later. But let's discuss what's happening here with the clean singing. Hey, pay attention to that breathiness that characterizes a vocal scheme that we call inside Vocal Anthropophysiology, which is the theoretical framework for my work as a voice teacher. That's a breathy voice. So we have the vocal folds in passive tension, which means that we don't have as much compression, and we also have a couple muscles in the back of the larynx, the posterior cricotid muscles, that are pretty much opening the vocal folds so that we allow the escape of air. Change, and every now and then she opens more space in the back of the mouth, raising the palate, not raising that much. In fact, when you are singing with a breathy voice, it is usually a good idea to keep the vocal tract a bit more narrow so that we avoid a bit of the drying effect that the breathy has on the vocal folds. So what she does is she raises the palate, she increases the space every now and then, but she also narrows the space every now and then. It creates color and keeps the adjustment sustainable. Hands are frozen, feel no pain. I just wanna hold the flame. Negative feedback loop, I'm spinning out of control. This emptiness is crushing me, but I wanna know if there's no heat when I scream. Yeah, but mostly with more space. She's raising the palate a little bit. And even the mouth opening is more vertical. instead of a smile like this that would make the sound brighter, no, she's making the sound darker by having a more vertical opening. Woo! Now we start to get some active vocal schemes there. Let's listen to that again. Feel the way! So, that's a worn voice. Pretty much belting. Remember this, belting. Inside vocal anthropophysiology, we would call this vocal scheme, the technique that she's using, a worn voice. It happens when we are keeping our vocal folds in active tension above the E4. Hey, E4! So we are singing above that. Hey! And here. Hey! So she's using a worn voice, vocal folds in active tension. A good idea whenever you're trying to reach this sound is imagine that you're calling someone on the other side of the street. Hey! 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 And of course, it requires an important level of firmness, that is the muscles in the back of your larynx. And here we're talking about the lateral cricotinoid muscles and the transverse arytenoid muscle, as well as the oblique arytenoid muscles. These muscles need to embrace your vocal folds, and they need to be strong and trained in order to do that. Otherwise, you have vocal breaks. Which is not the case here. She's a fantastic singer. She has those muscles under control, and yeah, she's killing it. And a lot of space as well. But there is something else that I heard there. That YOLO there, that abrupt transition between active and just for a fraction of a second, that was so beautiful. Whenever we want those abrupt transitions to happen, we tend to call them YOLOs, or some people call them sigh, some people call them cry, vocal cry, and it doesn't matter how you call it, but that abrupt transition between active and passive. And when we don't want them to happen, they happen by a mistake. We tend to call them vocal breaks, voice cracks. And of course, here it was like clearly intentional. Sometimes one might argue, and that's my case, that it doesn't have to be intentional to be good. Sometimes it will fit the song, it will fit the emotion that you want to convey, even when it happens by accident. But that's a discussion for another time. This one here was clearly intentional. Ooh! She's starting to activate distortion there, and we are talking about glottic distortion. Hey! Hey! That happens at the level of the arytenoid cartilages, which are crackling to create that distorted sound. A similar behavior to what we have in the Gargara kind of throat singing, when they do but of course it's way tighter there. We need to let go a little bit to be able to reach higher notes and still keep that distortion. Yay! We need to let go a little bit. It's not as firm, but it is the same principle. Heavy.
Nothing sacred, nothing lost. When birds of prey invade my thoughts, they promise that.
Yet another vocal scheme, also passive. This is a Gregorian voice. The difference between the Gregorian voice and the breathy voice would be, the breathy voice, of course, we have that airiness in the sound, that hiss, and the Gregorian voice, we have more intention of projecting the voice. Then we increase the subglottic pressure, the air pressure, and because of that, we seal the vocal folds a bit more, so that we don't have as much airiness in the sound. Beautiful.
We'll feel that pain, not strong enough to hold the flame. Negative feedback loop, I'm spinning out of control. The sickly sweetness is crushing.
Oh, important here. I think it's important to point out that the Gregorian voice will not happen well if the singer is committing mistakes with their distortions. One of the first things that will happen whenever your distortion is not well adjusted, your distortion, your screams, is that you will lose control over the Gregorian voice. It might become a creaky when you try to do you might have a creaky there, or it might become breathy instead of so it's a really good sign for a screamer, for a vocalist that tends to sing with vocal distortions, to be able to do a Gregorian voice that well, because it shows good vocal control and it shows that the structures are well kept. She's taking care of her vocal health.
This could all be yours.
Beautiful. Pay attention to the opening there, how she's shaping her mouth. She's going for that schwa shape. Sigh. Let's listen to that again. Power of the show. So. Again, I told you guys in the video that we made on Bring Me to the Horizon, the song that she did from them. The key here is that breathiness, that airiness, that that's cool. That grunt right there. Cool. This is a lot of air pressure when the vocal folds and the muscles in the larynx in general are super loose and relaxed. I have everything relaxed. And I said a lot of air pressure. And then we have the glottic part of it, the retinoid cartilages, but we also have corniculate cartilages. We also have vestibular folds, making this a mixed vocal distortion. We have pretty much everything vibrating and crackling and trepidating together to create that sound. Beautiful. Amazing. And then all of that space to make it even darker. Some parts are more compressed as well. Amazing. Yeah. Sometimes higher. So many things happening here. She's so skilled in different vocal distortions. She's manipulating the muscles inside the larynx. She's manipulating the filter, sometimes right, sometimes darker. C sharp. This is amazing. Wow. Well, guys, one thing that I can definitely say after listening to this, I need to listen to more Spiritbox. And of course, I need to listen to more MAPHRA. So please recommend me more songs for me to analyze here. That was incredible. Of course, I want to know your opinion, what you think of this song, what you think of her performance, and of course, what you think of my analysis here. If you are curious about my own singing, sometimes you'll be listening to vocal coaches and then you're like, okay, this person can talk about voice, but how do they sound when they actually sing for real? Well, I'll leave a link, a card up here for you to listen to my original music. It will guide you to a playlist with the songs that I've released already. I would love to hear feedback. Some of them are in the metal side of music, some of them are a bit poppier, but again, your feedback means the world to me. If you want to become my singing student, then check out the link in the description for my online singing program, Building Your Voice. In there we cover all of the techniques. We talk about active vocal schemes whenever you want to belt out those high notes, but also sing low notes with power. We talk about passive vocal schemes whenever you want to be really expressive and dramatic with your voice using those soft sounds. We talk about ornaments, vibratos, yodels, runs, vocal distortions, yeah! How to practice and apply them in a way that's safe, that will not hurt your voice. We have a vocal exercise library with exercise for you to practice each of the techniques that we cover inside the course. All of that and much more. If you want to have all of the info, click the link below. All right, that's all for the day, guys. You enjoy your day, you enjoy your coffee, and remember, if your concepts cannot be seen here in the real world, then they must change and not the world. See you in the next one.